Okay, so guys, welcome back to another video. And today we will be going to study the cracking of petroleum. The cracking of petroleum. So basically, it means the cracking of alkanes. Now, what happens when we crack something? Like if this is a bowl and I crack it. So what happens? It breaks down into some two products, and when I then add up these two products again, I'll get this whole bowl. So the same is the case here. If I have any alkane, for example, if I have C5H12, so if I'm going to crack it, I'll get two products. So what will be those products? So remember, we will have one alkane and one alkene. Or if the question says we'll get hydrogen, so then you are supposed to write hydrogen. So this alkane, it must be a shorter chain alkane than this. Like it must be smaller than C5H12. So I can take any alkane like C1, C2, C3, C4. So for example, I take C2. So C2, and then it will be C2H6. And alkene, now I took two carbons. So how many carbons are left? 3 carbons are left, because 5 minus 2 are 3. So C3H6. Now see, if I add this C3H6 and C2H6, so I'll get C5H12. You can try it for yourself. So from this example, I can conclude a definition for the cracking of petroleum, which is that the definition: the breakdown of larger chain alkanes into smaller chain alkanes, and along with alkanes I get alkenes and alkene. Or if the question says that hydrogen will be formed, so then you are supposed to write hydrogen. Okay, that's the definition for cracking of petroleum. Now let's try a couple of examples. So for example, if I have C7H16 and I'm supposed to crack it, so I'll get one alkane, I'll get an alkane and an alkene. So you can take any carbon number, like for example, I take C3. So according to the general formula, what should be the hydrogen? 3 2s are 6, and 6 plus 2 is 8. So C3H8 is one of the alkane is C3H8. Now another product must be an alkene. So how many carbons are left? If I minus 3 from the 7, I'll get 4. C4. And according to the general formula of alkenes, hydrogens are just twice of carbon. So 4 2s are 8. Right? The general formula of alkenes is twice the carbon number, which is CnH2n. This is the general formula for alkenes. So simply if I add these up, I'll get C7H16. Like for example, if I add the carbon, so 3 plus 4 is 7 and 8 plus 8 is 16. So you can like judge your answer that if it's correct or not. Just add these up, you should get this. Okay, now let's do another example. For example, if I have C10H, twice of 10 is 20, so it will be 22. So for example, now now it depends on me which alkane I take. So for example, if I take the C7, so C7H16, and then I'll be left with 3 carbons, so it will be C3, and according to a general formula, twice of 3 is 6. So if I add these up, I'll get C10H22. Okay, that's super easy. Now let's see what happens if the question asks me that one of the product is going to be hydrogen. So what will be the other product? Oops. If one of the product is hydrogen, so what will be the other product? And remember, cracking, only alkanes do cracking. So if I have an alkane C4H10, so what is going to happen? So simply minus the 2 from this, just minus this 2 hydrogen, you will be left with C4H8. So this is the answer. This is the most easiest. What are you supposed to do? Just minus C4H10 minus H2 from it. The answer will be, this will be your answer. Okay, now let's try another example. If I have, for example, C5H12, and one of the product is hydrogen, so what will be the another product? So just minus this 2 from it, you will be left with C5H10. Right? This is absolutely correct. Now let's see what are the essentials for cracking. Essentials for cracking. So for cracking, first of all, cracking is always performed by alkanes. And from alkanes, basically alkanes, they are saturated hydrocarbons, and alkenes are unsaturated hydrocarbon. So if the question asks from which process we can get unsaturated hydrocarbon from a saturated one, so it's cracking. So first of all, alkanes are required for cracking. Secondly, we require a catalyst for it, which is aluminium oxide. And thirdly, we require some temperature for it, and 450 degrees centigrade is ideal temperature for cracking. And then pressure, so we have 70 atmospheric pressure for it. These are the essentials for cracking. Now you're not supposed to mention that alkanes are essential for cracking in the question, because we already know that only alkanes perform cracking, no other hydrocarbon can do cracking. So the main things are the catalyst. This is the catalyst. This is the temperature, and this is the pressure. Okay, so that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed how cracking of petroleum is done, and if you have any questions, just let me know in the comment section. I'll answer them.